So for clarification, for everyone that's watching, we're doing equal stats, base Goku versus base Ichigo, no transformation, but there will be like stat amplifications via like techniques, but no transformation. And we're doing out of character. All right. So who do you want to start off? Me or you?
I already started.
Okay.
Ichigo just use the Ground Race Arrow, gets a potential, and one-shot Goku that way.
All right. So you're arguing like a stat amplification and one shot me.
Yeah.
All right. How much of a boost is this?
At the very least, at 10 times.
Okay. Well, for me, I'm just going to argue with that being said, Goku's just going to use Kaioken times 10, and he's not going to get one shot.
I see. Does he need to, transform or something?
This is a little learned technique that was taught to him by King Kai. It's a stat amplification via technique that he learned through training. It's not a transformation.
I'll argue that Ichigo will double the effects of the Grand Race Zero gets a potential, like what he did with Grimjow, where he fired a Getsu potential at him, which Grimjow blocked, and then he fired another Getsu potential on Grimjow's back. So then the two Getsu potentials collided and caused a massive explosion.
Yeah, but why would that double the already 10 times? How do you know that's doubling and already 10 times amp? Is that what you're saying?
Because because it's technically it's like basically you throw a punch and then you throw two punches, so double AP, right?
No, both punches are just going to be exerting the same amount unless you can prove that. That's just an assumption.
Why?
Why? Because you're just assuming it's going to be double the next punch, but that's just an assumption. There's nothing that suggests that. Where's it even implied?
God damn it, where's the scan?
There's also other things to consider. It's me, for example, take an example, just because I swing with a certain amount of force in one punch, how do you know my next one isn't going to be from my weaker side or my weaker arm? How do you know it's not going to be slightly less, slightly more? How can you just grandstand it's going to be double?
Is it this one? No. There we go, I found it. Repost the scan that I was referring to. God damn it. This is the scan I was referring to.
Okay.
Should have made a GIF from that.
Yeah, I mean, all this is really implying. It's not necessarily implying that his other punch is literally double the last one. All it's doing is giving you double of the same amount of power. He's not just hitting you with one; he's sandwiching you together with two. So it's 2 for 1. It's not that doesn't mean you're gonna hit me with 20 times altogether. It's literally both still they're both still 10. The second one isn't gonna be 20 times, is what I'm saying. Is that what you're trying to say? It's gonna be 20 times. That's not what he's really referring to.
True.
So yeah, I'm still gonna be fine. The Kaioken was 10.
All right. So what will you argue now?
Well, I'm just going to argue from here. Goku's going to use the Destructo Disc and cut Ichigo up to pieces and kill him.
I'll argue that Ichigo will not even allow Goku to even use the Destructo Disc.
Why is that?
Even in character, Ichigo doesn't even let that happen. An example of this actually would include when Ichigo was like fighting against Okiura. He at one point saw two Arrancar chicks trying to like kill Orihime, and he just immediately went there to murder both of them.
Yeah, but they're still starting a certain distance apart, like 10 to 20 meters apart. So you're going to say you still have to like, there's still going to be a time frame for you rushing over, and we're equal speed. So I'm still going to argue he's still going to get off the Destructo Disc as well.
And I argue Ichigo would use a Bala for that case.
Okay.
Now, it's
And what
not
would
as
that do?
strong as his own AP, but it's 20 times faster.
Okay. Well, in that regard, I'm just going to say Goku can just stack Kaioken times 20 on his base and make all of his stats 20 times faster, more powerful, et cetera, et cetera. So therefore, the Destructo Disc in turn would also be 20 times faster.
How about I argue a Bala Getsuga Tensho, which again won't be as powerful as a base Getsuga Tensho, but it will be also again increase of 10 as Ichigo used it to block against Okiura's first release. So there will be a 200 times increase in speed. Let me show the scan what I was referring to.
Well, I'm just going to say, hold on. Well, I would just argue.
You're a sniper.
What?
You pulled a sniper.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Well, I'm going to argue you won't have a chance to even think about becoming faster, and I'm going to argue Goku's just going to stay, several steps ahead via precognition.
I mean, Ichigo also has precognition. Let me show it in the same scan. Actually.
Okay. Well, how many steps?
Thankfully, it's all one scan. There we go. Ichigo also has his own form of precognition via instinctive reaction.
Yeah, so you say he has like one step?
It can react to people who are also 10 times faster than him. Also, it got better via his like training with Ginjo because he got his eyeball slashed, so he needed to fight with basically his eyes closed.
Okay, but you would have to prove why his instinctive reaction would get 10. That would actually grant him 10 steps of precog though, because he gets like 10 times stat amp on like the physical stats.
Wait, why 10 times stat amp precognition amp for Goku?
I'm not. What? I never was arguing a stat amp for give him precog. I have other methods of that to give him legitimate precog. Like steps of them. That's what I'm saying. So you only have like one step of precog or what?
One step, I think.
Oh.
Wait, how many steps of precog does Goku have?
Let's see. At least 3. I can argue.
Why 3?
Well, for one, even as a kid, he was able to actually out precog and predict Roshi's movements. He learned also how to fight by remaining calm of mind and predict movements by Mr. Popo as well. This is actually shown during his training. Verbatim learns how to predict his opponents, predict their movements, learn how to fight calm of mind. We also have the fact he out precogged Vegeta in their fight as well. So right off the bat, dude, even like Kid Goku has several incidences of training and in combat where he's been out precog somebody else. That gives him an extra layer right off the bat right there.
Do you have the scans for that?
Yeah.
Can you post them?
Sure.
God damn it, my Discord is... Oh, there we go. Oh, I thought I was going crazy there for a second.
So here's one of the most important moments because he's verbatim getting trained in this regard by Mr. Popo. How to be calm of mind and fight off instinct, sensory, prediction, predict the moves, predict what's going to happen. And he ends up surpassing this same Popo and Kami in this regard. So that would also add on an extra layer. Like, this is pretty blatant precog.
Scant?
So yeah, I'd say he'd definitely be able to stay easily steps ahead of you. Do you have anything to say?
Last resort argument. How fast did you say the destructive disc is?
Well, it's going to be 20 times what it was originally, but I'm arguing though it's still going to be able to tag you first due to my precog allow me to stay steps ahead. Yeah, and I would like to add on to the destructo disc point that Goku himself is actually crafty with it, and he can actually control them and like make them go wherever he wants. It's actually shown like Jiren as well in the Tournament of Power, where he was crafty with it. For example, Jiren dodged it, and he thought he got away from it, right? And Goku made it come back around to slice, stage off where he was standing and try to knock him off. So he is very crafty with it, even in character. And this is out of character, so it's going to be even worse. I mean, worse for Ichigo, not Goku.
That's still... That being smart in that sense is like kind of predictable for Ichigo. He already fought people who are like Goku, where they fight for like the entirety of their lives and are very crafty in their abilities.
I mean, I would argue Goku is far more skilled than anyone in Bleach.
For example,
we're not going that route. I hope if you want to, sure.
For example, let me mention one of the examples of Ichigo's skill feats. For context, This is directly after he fought Kenpachi, so he's still like injured.
Well, to be fair, right? I wasn't necessarily arguing skill versus skill. I'm just adding on to my point and adding on to like Goku isn't just some like mindless animal with his destructo disc. He's actually crafty with them and can actually control them. I'm not arguing like specifically skill or skill. I'm just saying, adding on to my point too, just in case you try to like argue on your part that you can avoid it. I'm just adding on to that it's even then it wouldn't really work. He can just make it follow you around the battlefield. And with my whole precog argument that I've already put on the table, I would say via being able to stay a step or so ahead of you, if not more, I'll be able to like slice you before you have a chance to think about dodging or moving.
I'll argue that Ichigo will just move out of the way from it with Flash Step and Sonido.
Okay. I mean, but I would still argue he won't have a chance to use Flash Step because he'd already be sliced in half before you have a chance to think about your plan. Because Goku already had the plan thought out.
What did you say?
Well, I said you won't have I'm going to still argue that you won't have a chance to think about plan or doing Flash Step because Goku would already be able to stay steps ahead of you. His plan would already be thought out, and you already be sliced in half before you have a chance to think about it.
How about if I just argue that Ichigo can react to it because he also fought against people who have teleportation?
Yeah, but what does that have to do with me just, staying steps ahead of you at the beginning of the fight and just slicing you in half before you have a chance to think about your strategy? Like reacting to instant transmission or like teleportation. Sorry, yeah, same difference, but whatever. It's cool and all, but that's not relevant really in this regard because again, I'm not using that. I'm staying where I'm at. I'm just going to be able to have my plans thought out before you have a chance to think about yours, and I'm only going to kill you.
Got me there. You got me there.
So you see that point?
Let me see if I have another one.
No, but you can see like your first win con.
Yeah, I conceded that one.
Okay.
Ichigo just flash steps and Sonido's over to Goku and just chops off his head.
All right. So that's your next win con. That's your second win con, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I cut out. You there? Yo, Shinigami, you there? Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you guys.
Okay, I cut out. Shinigami, can you hear me?
Can anyone hear him?
Yeah, can you
Can't
hear
hear
me?
Horn.
What about now? Hold on.
What?
All right. What about now?
All right.
All right.
That works.
So my bad. Yeah, I cut out. So your next win con is Ichigo's going to use Flash Step and go over and just slice Goku's head off.
Yeah. And Sonido.
All right. I'm going to say this.
Yeah.
I'm going to say since my precog is still on the table, it was not countered. I'm going to argue he's still going to stay a step ahead of you. Use the solar flare to blind Ichigo before you have a chance to Flash Step. You'll be blinded from that point. I'm just going to slice you in half with another Destructo Disc. I can show you Goku using the solar flare as well, even in character in combat, like during his fight with Vegeta.
Well, clearly, well, even if Goku used like solar flare before Goku even used Flash Step, that really wouldn't work because Ichigo was already in a situation like that with his eyeball slashed, and he has this passive ability where it allows him to see even if his eyes are destroyed. Let me post the scan, actually.
Okay.
This isn't as simple as blinding. It's just literally just cutting off his eyes. All right, I found the scan that I was looking for.
All right.
This is the Ichigo with his eyeballs slashed.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I would argue, right? To be fair,
Hold on.
having your hello.
Hold on.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were done.
Not done yet. Well, there you go. Wait, did I get the right one? Yeah, got that one scanned.
Cool. Yeah, I'm checking it out. Yeah. So what you're saying is, even if I try to blind you, you're arguing you still be able to like fight and you'll be all right.
Yeah.
All right. So you mind if I go on to like a potential counter now?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Well, I would argue, right, to be fair, I wouldn't say having your eyes slashed from the outside the same as like having the inside of like your retina blinded, just basically temporarily vaporized in a sense, because like Goku, the solar flare literally like blinds your entirety. Like like it flashes through the back of your mind, all that. It clouds like everything, your entire eyesight, like inside out. It's not just like me slashing slashing like a scar or like and blood dripping from the outside. Like your eyeballs are going to be, you're not going to be able to see at all, even past like blood dripping or like a scar. So I would still argue solar flare is a little bit far different than simply having this cut and stuff and being able to fight like that.
Yeah, with the scan of that. Also, this is how the ability works. Found it.
Yeah, I
scanner.
posted the clip of him.
Wait.
Yeah, I posted
that
the
one?
clip of him blinded grade 8 Vegeta. Yeah.
I posted
It
the
even
scan
works
of how
on.
the.
All right. Well, like it even works on like characters. So, like, for example, it even works on like characters. Even though this may not matter, I'm just pointing it out. It works on giant characters as well. So there's not like There's not like a small limitation to us. It works on like small, large objects, all that, and it completely blinded grade 8 Vegeta all around. Like, he couldn't do anything for a little bit temporarily. And that's going to give Goku definitely more than enough time, since he's already steps ahead anyways. I'm still arguing he's going to solar flare you, completely blind Ichigo. The entirety of his eyesight is going to be blinded and gone. Then I'm going to slice his head off with my destructo. Any thoughts? Hello?
Was there a statement that it works like that? I watched the clip. That's why I muted.
Oh, did you hear everything I just said?
No, I was watching the clip.
Oh. Yeah, well, basically, I said just because you get like cuts and stuff on the outside of your eye and you can still fight, that's not the same as me completely blinding the entirety of your eyesight, like your cells and like your retina and your eye, all that stuff is being blinded from this technique. It's not like just me putting some cuts on.
Technically, it's not like a normal eye. It's technically like a subconscious third eye, like a passive third eye, as you've seen from the scan that I provided.
So you're arguing. So are you? Just so I'm clear, right? Are you arguing along the lines of like sensory, like a sixth sense type of thing, even if you're blinded?
Yeah. Yeah, like a sensory type thing.
I mean, to be fair, I'm going to argue
right.
this. I'm going to argue this. I'm just going to say Goku, and I'll provide my reasoning why he would be able to use this technique in particular, especially in this scenario. So what I'm arguing is Goku would just amp it up to solar flare times 100 and get rid of your sensory capabilities altogether. Because the solar flare times 100.
Wait, would that even work like that?
Work like what?
Work like that? I'm just curious. Would that work like that?
Like what exactly?
The solar flare.
Yeah, there's one called the solar flare times 100.
Do you have the scan for that?
Yeah, Krillin used it, but when I have an argument as to why Goku, especially in this scenario, will be able to use it. For one,
Why would he be able to use it?
Well, for one, he's seen Krillin try to use it on him. We know for a fact Goku can mimic key techniques, and this is also out of character as well. So I don't see absolutely any reason why he won't be able to do this. For example,
You're saying? Wait, I'm just curious.
Hold on. And he was also, yes, I'm going to give some examples too. And we know he's a prodigy when it comes to this as well. Even as a kid, it took a 300-year-old man 50 years of his life to master a technique, whereas this dude on the fly in seconds copied it and made it far better. So right off the bat, yeah, there's absolutely no reason, especially in an out of character situation, why he won't be able to use that solar flare times 100. So would you like to see?
Yeah, I would like
to
see that.
Okay.
Also, I posted on like why I mentioned Flash Step and Sonito specifically. Not only can people like Ichigo do that, like stack both abilities together, but also I posted like the special ability that Sonito grants you inherently.
All right. Also, even to add on more to my arguments, like if Krillin himself can make one of Tien's techniques better, Krillin's nowhere near the caliber of being a prodigy like Goku. And Goku already is known for consistently copying other key techniques on the fly with no effort. And again, this is out of character, so I absolutely see no reason why he wouldn't be able to do this, unless there's some type of an actual counter or a real contradiction with it. And here's the clip of Krillin showing that he did develop it. And I can actually show you where Goku does mimic key techniques that it takes masters 50 years to freaking master. You there?
I'm watching the clip.
You there, Shinigami?
More or less.
I think he's still watching the clip.
I'm. What did I just see?
Well, the first clip you just saw Krillin use a solar flare times 100 to completely disable like Gohan's sensory capabilities along with his eyesight, and then he caught him off guard and ringed him out. And the second one you see is Goku literally shocking a dude who spent 50 years of his life just to master a technique. He just looked at this little kid who did it in a second, just from seeing it once. So yeah, on top of this being out of character, there's literally no reason at all I see why he won't be able to use solar flare times 100. So I will be able to take away your sensory capabilities altogether anyway.
The main problem that I personally have with it, it's like Goku was also blinded. He was also only able to see with like the sunglasses. And also, why does he copy certain techniques like the Final Flash, for example? Why that technique specifically?
Okay, for one, right, what you personally just said there does not matter in this situation. Okay. For two, the whole sunglasses, the whole being blinded stuff, and he needed sunglasses. Sure, when someone else uses technique, but when the characters themselves use the technique, they close their eyes when they do it. So that's right off the bat. And then you're asking about the whole other technique. Well, we're not in a situation where I would need to argue he needs the final flash now, are we? So why does that matter?
Just that I'm wondering why that copy that technique specifically. Why not other techniques as well? Why not roll along with like Final Flash or something?
Well, there are some stuff to say for that. For one, right, we don't know for sure if he has copied Vegeta's techniques or not. And for two, in his own character, right, in character, he wouldn't just use, yeah, sure. Why would he have a reason to use Final Flash in character in there? And so I don't even see the Final Flash thing is kind of not a good argument against it, really. Like, it has no holding, no weight. Who's to say he has or hasn't? Just, the whole Final Flash thing.
Wait, unless.
But we do know for a fact he copied the solar flare from Tien because I've already shown him using that. So that adds on even more. There's absolutely no reason why he would be able to do the solar flare times 100, especially in an out of character situation where I've already proven that he can copy key techniques that it takes masters years to perform and master. And yeah, so I'm going to hold on to that because you haven't really provided any type of a counter.
I argue that Ichigo's Zanpakuto spirits will also take over his senses as well for him, like White or Zangetsu.
Yeah. Why would that matter? Why would that stop them from having their sensory shut down as well?
It's because they are within Ichigo's consciousness. Ah, fuck. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this right here with my leg? Why? Can't help it. Oi. Dang, what did I do?
I mean, to be fair, right? Again, why would they even have a chance to think about doing that when Ichigo himself won't even have a chance to think about it because Goku's going to be steps ahead of you from the get-go because the precog still was not countered at all. You already conceded to that. So I'm still going to say Ichigo is still going to be completely dead before they have a chance to like fully take over and sense for him. He's just going to have his head cut off. And then it's bye-byes on Getsu and all of them.
Mm,
I mean, that's pretty much, I've already laid all my points. I'm still going to grandstand what I'm saying here. So, anything to say?
I don't think I have anything else.
So you're done, or you?
I think I'm done.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. Good debate.